The Detroit River is famous among the walleye fishing community. There simply is no better place or time to catch a mess of walleye than the Detroit River in April. Or is there? For as good as the Detroit River is in April, a similar bite takes place in November that few anglers know about. Forget about dealing with crowded public access sites. In November, you'll find fewer boats, less stress, and a whole lot of great fishing. This week, Fishing 411 TV is breaking with tradition and heading to the D to see firsthand what this fishery has to offer in the fall. Mark employs the help of family friend and professional angler Rob Jones, who quickly convinces Mark it was a good idea to temporarily trade in his deer rifle for a jigging stick.
Well, it's always good in the fall. It's just something new that's getting around that people finding out about. But this has been going on for years. I mean, like years. This bite can be as good or better than the springtime. When I say as good or better, I mean the bite is still the same like in the springtime, but it's one quarter of the people. There's no crowds, you know, but the fishing is really good.
But that one will measure, and that one will,
no question,
go in the tank.
That's 17 easy.
Yes, a little grass on him here. We'll clean him up so he looks a little better for the camera. Rob Jones is my personal guide on the Detroit River, I tell you. You know, we've been on the Detroit River countless times and fished with Rob many times over the years. This is the very first time I've ever fished the Detroit River in the fall. It's not spring. You look at the way I'm dressed, you'd think it would be April, but actually it's the end of November, almost turkey time.
Almost turkey time.
Catching walleye. That's a great time.
Catching walleyes.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that, my friend.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Oh yeah.
Well, that's a good looking fish, Rob. I'm sorry I'm a little slow on the net.
And he thumped it too, buddy.
I'm a little slow on the net job here. Nice.
Yeah, we just moved across the channel up on this little ridge right here. It's like 34 feet of water. And we started marking a lot of fish. A lot of fish were on the bottom. And this one just happened to be hungry and thumped it real good. Tender morsels, tender morsels.
Well, for me, I've spent a lot of time on the Detroit River over the years. The striking difference here is in the fall, the lack of boats. I mean, it's amazing. If this was April, there'd be, well, we were the only boat at the boat launch at Wyandotte this morning. Can you imagine showing up in April at Wyandotte and being the only boat in the boat launch? But there's just not much traffic out here, and so the value of not having much traffic is that you got the river to yourself. The disadvantage is you don't have a lot of other boats pointing you in the right direction, so you got to go back old school and find these fish. Well, how do you find them? You sit up on spots and you make drifts until you sit down on a school. So it might be a little more difficult to find fish in the fall than it is in the spring, but once you find them, you're not going to have to share them with anybody.
Yep, every bit of 16, yeah. Man, did you see those nice fillets right there? Look at that. This time of year, and even sometime in the spring, when the water cleans up like it is now, it seems the fish are smaller. But if we get a blow and this water dirties up some, we'll be getting the same amount of bites, but the fish will be like twice the size. The bigger fish like the dirtier water. The smaller fish, they'll bite in this clean water. But the big fish are not going to bite in this clean water unless it's at night. That's the only time you're going to really catch the big ones at night. I guess they don't like the clarity of the water. It might bother their eyes or something. I'm not sure why, but I know for a fact that if this water dirties up, our fish will double in size. It happens every year, all year long.
Special considerations are provided by Cisco Fishing Systems, your fishing equipment experts. Special considerations are provided by ProCure, ruthlessly effective bait sets.
Rob's on one.
It's a baby.
Nice. A little bigger than you thought it was, I think.
Yeah, it is. Got a nice one right here, about 17 inches. Smoked it on the way down. This has been typical. It's on the smaller side of what we've been catching this fall, but this right here is going to be a nice good fillets coming off of here. In the spring, when I'm jigging and I'm fishing for bigger fish, my presentation is really slow. And a lot of time I tip with live bait. I find in the fall, I don't tip. I don't slow my presentation down a little bit because the water is still 47, 49 degrees right in that area. So the fish is still attack it, but I don't slow my just like that. And whoa, and you got one.
That's what they call live roll in the television business.
Yes, sir.
That's what they call live roll.
Oh, yeah.
Do an interview and you catch a fish, and Rob, I gotta love that. There you go, my friend.
Yes, sir. if you notice, my presentation it's medium fast, and he smoked it. When I say he smoked it, it's in his mouth, no hesitation. He really wanted it. So, hey, get out here in the fall, Detroit River, come out here, get out your deer stand and get some of these walleye. They right here for you. Come on and get you some.
You know, I like what Rob's saying about the fall fish being aggressive. You know, they're here for really one reason. They're not spawning, they're feeding. And the beauty of rivers is that rivers are a great environment for attracting a lot of forage fish. And guys that have fished the Detroit River know that there are a lot of emerald shiners here. There are a ton of emerald shiners here. And so they're eating emerald shiners. There's also spot-tail shiners, which is a different species, but they're very abundant here as well. They're eating a lot of those as well. And then we also have gizzard shad in this part of the world. And in the fall, the gizzard shad move up into the river as well. So you've got emerald shiners, gizzard shad, spot-tail shiners. You've literally got a smorgasbord of minnows here that these walleye can feed on. And so they're here for forage. And I've heard guys talk about that they think it's because the shiners are spawning. That's not true. The shiners actually spawn in the spring, not in the fall. They just want to be in this flowing water, and the walleyes want to be where the forage is. So Yeah, those people that know a little bit about walleye know that they're not afraid of flowing water. They would just as soon be here as anywhere. So they're where the forage is, and when the forage concentrates, so do the walleye.
I was about to tell you, Mark, when you go to Taiwan, I'm gonna get one.
That one's in the mouth.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one bit the jig itself, not the stinger.
Oh yeah, another nice one, yes sir. Yeah, another nice Detroit River walleye, fall walleye. Starting to look nice in there.
You know, Rob also talked about water temperature and the comparison to the spring. The guys in the springtime, they're here in, in March. The water in March is 36, 37 degrees here. It's much colder than it is in November. And so what ends up happening in the spring is it starts with a slow bite because the water is really cold. And then as the water eventually warms up as you get through April and into May, then that bite picks up and gets more aggressive. Well, in the fall, it's the reverse process. What's going on here is we're starting with fairly warm water and it's gradually getting cooler. And so in November, you're going to see aggressive fish. You're going to be seeing fish that are not only hungry, but they're just thunking the jig. They want to be here. They want to feed. But if you fish down into December, when that water gets colder, guess what? It's going to be more similar to the way the bite would be in March. When that water gets below 40 degrees, you're going to have to slow down your presentation. But right now, you can move that jig aggressively and you can catch those aggressive walleyes.
Special considerations provided by Abyss Battery. Power your pursuit. Special considerations are provided by the Ultimate Sport Show Tour, Michigan's premier sport shows.
Yeah, baby, look at that. Woo!
Travel Light Truck Campers presents the 411 on fishing.
You know, the battery in your boat is the lifeblood of your boat. If you have any issues associated with your batteries, guess what? You're not fishing. Recently, we decided that we were going to switch all of our boats over to lithium technology from what was traditionally used as lead acid batteries in the past. The advantages here is that this battery is ultimately going to power up my electric motor. And traditionally, the way this would be done is with 3 12-volt batteries wired in series in order to create 36 volts. Well, this big battery here is just one unit, but it is 36 volts right out of the get-go. The advantage of not using 3 batteries is that when you wire batteries in series, they don't all discharge at the same rate. So at the end of a long day of fishing, what happens is your battery power starts out really high at the beginning of the day when your batteries are fully charged. And by the end of the day, you've probably noticed that your electric motor doesn't have as much power. In order to compensate, you have to kick up the thrust on your electric motor to compensate. Well, there's a better way of wiring electric motors to be able to eliminate those problems. If you go with just a straight up 36 volt battery like this, 1, you're going to be saving weight in the boat. 2, you're going to have all the power you want because this battery will have full power when it's charged at the beginning of the day, and it will maintain that full power all the way until it's 100% completely exhausted. Also, you might want to consider the cost factor. Traditional lead acid batteries are expensive, but they're a lot less expensive than lithium batteries. When you invest in lithium batteries, you're investing in a long-term commitment. If you own your boat for a long period of time, you're going to replace the lead acid batteries in your boat 2 or 3 times. Typically, we replace them every 2 years at the most. This battery has got a 5-year warranty, and it also has an extended warranty for 2 additional years, so 7 years they expect the longevity of this battery. It can be recharged up to, get this, 5,000 times. That's a lot of recharging. So depending on how often you use your boat, this battery might be the last battery you ever need to buy for your fishing boat. If you're at the point where you're looking at putting lithium batteries in your boat, you want to look long and hard at the option of using one 36 volt lithium battery. I think it'll be a great investment for your future.
Mark, I think I got something on here, Mark. Oh, it's
There you go. Nice job, sir.
It's
nice
a keeper.
Job.
It is a keeper. Mark, I dropped it down. He missed it. I felt him when he hit it. I dropped it back down, and he sucked it in. I'm talking about in there, all the way.
I need a little help, my friend.
What's going on, buddy?
We got us a fish. Feels like a halfway decent one here.
It's good to have a fish.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Oh, baby.
We'll take that one. Oh, this is a stinger fish.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah!
Barely on the stinger hook. You know, our average today has actually been pretty small. This is a decent fish for us, but that's not typical of the Detroit River in the fall. They usually get some very, very nice quality fish, but we're dealing with cold fronts, we're dealing with clear water today, and so we'll take what we get. But a box full of fish like that, you're never going to say that's a bad day. That is a good day, any day.
What you can expect on the Detroit River, if you get a good blow out of the east, northeast, what it's going to do is it's going to dirty up Lake St. Clair. Lake St. Clair is at the top of this river. It dirties it up and then it comes down. So that's basically how our water gets dirty. And what's going to happen is when St. Clair cleans up, we're going to start to get a run of clean water, and also the dirt is going to start to settle and the water will clean back up. And it's usually right after the dirty water period, right when it starts to clean up and they can see a little bit better, that's when you catch the big fish. If you're not from around here and you plan on coming here, you need to check the forecast out. Make sure you check the wind. You want to come right after a dirty water period, which will be a real hard blow out of the northeast. We'll dirty that up there and it'll flow down, and you give it maybe 2 days, 2 or 3 days after that blow, then come down and you'll get on some big fish in the river.
Special considerations are provided by the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association and by Striker Brands. Go early, go late, go prepared. Special considerations are provided by Fish Hawk Electronics. Fishing without a fish hawk is called boating.
That's a little guy here.
Is that a fish, Mark?
I got into my other line though. There we go.
Oh, Mark, hold on.
Pretty decent fish.
Oh, baby.
Drag was a little light. That'll intimidate the heck out of you. Here, I'm trying to catch a fish. Trying to keep my other line up when I'm being tangled. Look at that. That's about as close to one of these Great Lake ore boats as you want to get right there. Whoo, baby.
Hey, that's a tanker fish.
It was a little bit of a cluster, but it came in the boat, and that's a good thing. And that one hit it pretty good. He's actually on the main jig hook. Most of our fish today come on the stinger. That's no surprise. Typically in cold water, you're going to see more bites on the stinger than you're going to see on the main jig. But we'll take them any way we can get them today. And that, my friend, is what the Detroit River is all about in November.
There, fish. There. Oh, buddy.
I don't think that jig even hit the bottom, did it?
Yeah. Okay.
There you go, Rob.
All right, buddy. Another stinger fish, buddy.
It's turned into that kind of day, hasn't it?
Yes, it is. A stinger fish. But it's a good fish, though. It's nice walleye. I mean, I had just dropped this down. It barely hit the bottom. And he clobbered it. Smacked it, smoked it. Oh!
That is definitely a good fish. This one's a walleye, Rob. We got ourselves a better fish.
We got us a good one here.
Didn't you say there's other toothy critters in here? This is pretty heavy fish right here, whatever it is.
They look like a good one.
Oh, it's a good one. That's a solid fish. That might be my best fish for the day right here.
Oh, come on!
There we go. We'll take it.
Nice one.
We will take it.
Oh, nice one. Mark, that's the biggest fish of the day.
I'll have to agree with you. That is definitely my biggest fish of the day.
That's the biggest fish of the day, period, buddy.
So, not bad. Couple of little bit bigger fillets on that one, and as we've talked about a couple of times today, today is a catch and keep kind of day. Cold, nasty, don't have any fish in the freezer, but we do now. Thank the good Lord.
Follow this. Put your line. Wherever your line goes, turn your motor to your line and give it a little bit. Just give it a little bit on your pedal. Catch up, get off your pedal. Catch up, get off your pedal. Wherever your line goes, just follow it with the head of your motor. You can't go wrong. And another thing that'll help you out is your speed on your trolling motor. You don't want to have your speed up too high, because then you'll start overshooting your line. So if you have it, like, start off right in the middle and see how you're moving on that certain day. Depending on the wind. If you got more wind, you're probably going to be a little more than 5. If you got less wind, you'll be a little less than 5. Start in the middle and just start moving to your line, and it'll tell you if you need to increase or decrease your speed. That way it'll keep your line vertical. You have more control, and you feel the bite better a lot when you're vertical. Although you don't have to be vertical to catch fish, but you feel your bites better.
Oh man, who knows? We'll see what this guy looks like here. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Rob, thank you, my friend.
That's better, buddy.
Yeah, I got a little bit more meat on them fillets.
Oh, got a little bit of meat on them fillets right
Meat on
there.
them fillets right there.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Another good quality Detroit River walleye. Hey, my name is Mark Romanack, and you've been watching Fishing 401. Come November, put down your bow for a little bit, put down your shotgun, put down your deer rifle, and I tell you what, pick up a fishing pole and come down to Detroit River. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Fish like this can be caught throughout the whole month of November. Hey, we'll see you same time, same place next week.
Closed captioning is provided by Precision Trolling Data. Fishing 411 TV is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, Starcraft Marine, Suzuki Marine, J Sporting Goods, Smooth Move Seats, Niagara Falls, USA, Eagle Claw, Bill Lewis, and Yakima Bait Company.
I'll bet there's a hot cup of coffee in that pilot house.